What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another game analysis video. This video is a little bit rough, I've got to be honest. This game, we just did not play well. I don't think I played very well personally, had some okay moments, but for the most part, it was just one of those games where we have to dive deep into the video, learn from it, and move on. If you guys are interested in-season workout programs, the ones that I do for my own training sessions, they are available on my website. Phases 1 through 4, I would probably recommend going with 1 first, doing your set with 1, and then going through 2, 3, and 4. They're all available for purchase on my website, noahcavanaugh.com/shop. So without further ado, let's hop into it. We will press play. So this is our first game as Salt City Union. We are in blue, going from right to left. The angle is really weird because we're playing on like half a baseball field, but I'll do my best to kind of explain there. So I am the bald guy, number 17, playing left back right now. First kick of the game. My first touch is, I believe, a throw-in. Yep, so straight into our number 9 who's checking, and he's able to kind of flick it on. Unfortunately, they win possession, and then it's just about making sure that that guy behind me doesn't get pressure onto the center back. Next one is a little bit of a defensive play here, tracking back, making sure that he gets plays the outside. So I'm going to pause really quick. So on that type of situation, oftentimes, and our winger was pretty close here, oftentimes what will happen is if the ball gets played over to the winger, I'm going to go press the winger, and as the outside back overlaps or underlaps, the winger, my winger, will take the guy with the ball and I'll take the overlap. That way he's not running behind me and they don't do like a weird defensive shift. That way the shift is just now both players are behind the ball and we're able to show. So that's an example of where the winger wasn't in the picture here, but that's an example of where I have to follow the overlap runner, and then the guy who had the ball initially, who played the ball down the line, is the responsibility of our winger. All right, so we'll play. Now it's just getting up, getting the ball from the winger. Winger does a really good job. And then it's just driving at that fullback, playing the ball to the wing, who makes a good run. That's our 10. All right, next play, ball from the center back. Really no options there, so I'm going to go back to the goalkeeper here, try and switch the play. So decent there. Throw in comes in. Right, okay, pause. I'm going to pause right here. Okay, so this is a situation where we are in a 2v2 in a really tight area. I think what I should have done is maybe done a step over and pulled it back the other direction, back to my right. I do try to dribble the guy forward, but he's pressing in a way that's pretty good in my opinion. Like that's a good way to press. So he's kind of jiggling his body back and forth, making sure I have to hesitate. And that's just, it was just a miss. I should have taken a bigger touch and then released maybe our 10 in the space in this area here. So that's kind of what I'm thinking on this one, but we'll press play and you guys can see how that all went down. And then immediate press again. We end up winning the ball back, I think, in this next phase. But yeah, all right. Next one, putting pressure there. That ended up being a handball, but we ended up getting possession, so that's good. Next little play, just putting pressure on the guy's back. That was a foul. I should have just stood him up. And then here's another example. That's that overlap. You can see where our winger is checking in, which is great. Another throw in into our 9. He's able to turn. Good one touch. That's much better. Unfortunate slip there from our 10, but he's able to get up and get back at it. Little touch. Retain possession, and we go from there. Free kick, back post. All right, so I'm going to pause really quick there. Okay, so from the last couple that you're seeing, as you're seeing, we're continuing to try to play possession. So this is our first game as Salt City Union, which is in Syracuse. We had to travel an hour to get to our home game, which is a little bit ridiculous, seeing as we already have a stadium and stuff. But again, that's not my decision. That's the management and the ownership decision, which it is what it is. So we are playing on a much smaller field, so that's something we had to get used to in the first, it's 15 minutes into the game from, you can see on the scoreboard, 15 minutes into the game, and it's just a very different field atmosphere, all that stuff. So, which is no excuse. It's just something that we're trying to get worked on, I guess, because the field is about 10 meters total less wide than the one we usually play on for training and for games for Flower City Union. So that's kind of what is going through my head. I'm like, okay, I'm adjusting to different types of width, especially as an outside back, getting in wide spaces. It's not as wide. So how do I create space for myself? The free kick that you just saw, that was, I think, a good ball. Keeper did just a good job of coming out and grabbing it. It's a good space right on the edge of the 6. So we'll play. All right, next play, ball comes out to me, driving towards the line, a little bit of skill here. Not a very good cross, unfortunately, but little flick and little rainbow flick around the guy, and then he hits it out of bounds. So bummer there, but decent skill. Ball from the center back, and again, good overlap from the winger, try to retain possession, and we get out, which is great. Another throw in here from the center back. Center back turns, is gonna play me. And then again, looking for options. And then I see the 10, probably should have played the 10 there to get out, but again, played safe, okay, so I'm gonna pause right here as I'm hitting the ball. So maybe what I'll do is I'll rewind in a replay really quick. But what I'm doing is as the guy's cutting in, as their left back is cutting in or their midfielder is cutting in, I'm checking my shoulder to make sure that the outside back or the winger who I'm marking, watching him as if he's making a run in behind, because I see that player put his head down as if he's about to hit a long ball. So I go, okay, what's the movement of this guy like? I understand where he's at. Okay, I can be in a really neutral position, and then he basically hits it right to me. So that's a situation where, again, from positional play, when you're talking position of an outside back, that stuff is really important. All right, so we'll play. And then just retain possession, and then he has to drop off. Now we're gonna find the 10, and we'll get out of it there. He does a good job of keeping the ball. Just make an overlapping run, make sure that my 10 has enough space. Ball comes from the right back over to me, and I'm gonna drive forward, do a little 1-2. I should have hit that into our number 9, but just a poor touch on my end. And then again, try and really press as hard as I can, make him play backwards. Little touch from the center back to me. And then again, finding that 10 in that half space, he does a really good job, our 10, of getting in that area. So yeah, fantastic there. And then plays over to me, and then I've got some pretty good pressure coming over. I'm just gonna one touch back to the center back, and we'll continue to retain possession. All right, so this is their first goal. So again, we talked about this as a team. This is just poor tracking. So Steve does a good job at winning the header, ball goes long, and then I am running back as quickly as I can. I'm checking my shoulder. There's 3 guys back post and no one is covering them. So I get behind the ball there, maybe should have blocked it, but again, we're inside the box, so that's their goal. Maybe I could have blocked it, but again, I'm trying to keep my hands down, trying not to go over. That's just poor tracking, and in my opinion, that should have been me. Instead of running over the ball at the free kick, let Steve have the free kick, and then I'm gonna defend 2v1 so that we can really get in there. All right. Little pressure on the ball here. I don't think I touch it there. No, that's okay. Little header up to our 9, who gets fouled. That's fine. Little free kick from that same thing. Back to the center back, gives me the ball again. Fizz over to our winger. That should have been a longer ball. Bummer. Little throw into our 10. He retains possession. A lot of these are just like little moments, little touches. First corner, so this is first of 2 corners. This one, again, had to calibrate, small field. This one is a great ball, right on top of where our center backs are, and unfortunately is a foul, and I'm gonna pause. Okay, so one of the things that, and these corners, as you can see, happened back to back. So one of the things that I think is an important thing, and I actually spoke to the head coach about this after this game, is he was saying, oh, well, we might have wanted, he was talking to somebody else about like, people have to hit it, I have to hit it first time, and be really clinical with the way that my service is. So whether that's corners, crosses and stuff, he wants me to be perfect basically not perfect, but like very, very good on the first try. And that being said, he also said, hey, but the fact that you just recalibrated, figured out what your issue was, and made a near perfect ball, perfect would have been a goal, but a beautiful ball right on top of the 6, right where the guys needed to be. There was a couple guys there. That's the really important part. So from that little blurb that I just ranted about, what I would implore you to do, what I would encourage you to do, is when you're playing, even in the middle of a game, constantly evaluate what's working and what's not working and be able to adjust to different types of scenarios. So I mentioned before the smaller field. I totally screwed up, didn't even beat the first man on that first corner kick, totally botched that first corner kick. We got lucky, we got a second one, and I said, nope, I'm going to take it again because I understand what I did wrong and I'm understanding what I have to do better next time. And then move forward to the next game. As of the filming of this video, I've actually played a game since this LA Force game and Salt City Union game. In that game, I was much more clinical straight out of the bat. There was no issues in my service at all, pretty much. And so that's where you always have to be constantly improving, not only in training, but also in a game-like scenario from moment to moment and just living moment to moment, right? You have to take it one step at a time. Okay, cool. That moment's done. I screwed up. What are the facts? It didn't get to where it needed to be. Okay, what do I need to change? Execute on it, and then boom, right away. Make sense? All right, so we'll play. Next play is another throw-in. Had lots of throw-ins this game. Ball gets played out, and then we go from there. Great skill by our 10. Next little play. That header, I need to win. I need to just get physical with that guy. That was my fault. And then, I don't know what that was. I don't think that was, yeah. Well, free play there. All right, so that's another example of just, again, not trusting myself under pressure. That's a mental thing for me. That's something I need to be better at. Now we're into the second half, and for whatever reason, they now have the score up. We're just going to keep possession for a little bit. Here's a little spell. So this is, I don't know what this is. Well, this might be... You might just be watching part of the game. I don't know why this wasn't taken out in edits. Oh, here we go. This is their goal. This is another one of their goals. So again, just not closing down, late to that guy who was running in behind, and then second goal. I was like, what is this? Yes, okay, that's their second goal. So, bummer. Just really shocking, unfortunately. But I wanted to make sure I include everything. Little defensive header there. Into our 10, can't keep possession, unfortunately. Long throw, goes in, doesn't quite make it. Again, these are like, and I'll speak for myself, I felt a little bit late to everything other than in possession moments. Just a little bit late, a little bit of lack. So here's another corner. This is so this should have been a PK. Watch this. Little trick play, boom, slides in from behind. And it didn't get called for a PK. I'm going to pause right there. I'm going to replay that in slow motion. He comes straight into the back of my ankle and it wasn't called for a PK. This is one issue that I have seen now in the professional game in Europe. Referees are now being told to basically retire before their time is up because they like to make it all about them. And I'm not here to blame a referee, but I will say that the referee in this game really loved to stop it every time so that he could have a word and he could have a thing. And for me, that's just not professional. For me, the best referees in the world are the referees who you barely notice are there and let the game flow, but keep enough reins on the game to where people aren't getting in fights. And, football is a competitive sport. This is a physical sport. Yes, that should have been a PK call. And also, in other moments of the game, he's flipping out yellow cards for basically nothing. And so it's like, there has to be a balance. And of course, at every level, you're going to get crap refs. But for me, it's like, you shouldn't know, like the game should be called how it should be called. It should be fair on both sides. You should barely notice who the referee is, what the referee is doing. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but that was a shit call in my opinion. That should have been, you can see, I'll play the replay again and he comes straight into the back of my ankle and it was not a nice feeling the rest of the game. So that's just annoying to me. All right, play. But yeah, so that's a goal kick, which is crazy. Okay, this is just a frustrating game. Watching this back, it just pisses me off. Clearance into them, back to our goalkeeper, and we go from there. Okay, so now I'm playing right back, by the way. I got switched over for another guy to come in on the left side. All right, this is our goal. Fantastic up, great jump by our our center back, and then we got a goal, which is great. So great service from the corner kick, and we go from there. Little throw in over the top. Again, not so great, but it goes out for a throw, so we get it again. I'll just let the whole thing play. Again, my biggest thing isn't even like execute. Like, yes, execution should have been better this game. And here we go. Ball comes back to me. And then we're just going to keep possession. So one of the things that I really, I'll comment if I see anything. This is good. Just keeping tight to my man, making sure he doesn't make a move. And then we're able to, Six does a good job of coming over and we're able to get. So this is a great body position. Keeper does a fantastic job of being near post, and that's great 1v1 defending. Ideally should have blocked that, but that's all right. Here's our third goal. Again, losing our marks. So I'm going to pause really quick. So one of the biggest things that I think stopped us from winning this game or being more effective is belief. And the game that we play, I'll just tease it because we played 2 days ago as of the filming of this video, this particular video, which was the game after this LA Force game. Immense belief in the team, in each other, in ourselves. It makes a complete difference when you have players and you have a team who are locked in their own minds and they believe in what they're doing. In this game, I just don't think mentally we were on. And it wasn't even like, yes, that affects execution. But if I'm constantly like panicking under pressure, which happened in this game, full stop. I mean, it happened. So if I'm panicking in a game and I don't execute, what happens the next one? And it just goes down, unfortunately, goes downhill. I had a couple moments where I was using my reset routine and there were some good moments, but it fluctuated a bunch. Whereas you'll see in the next game analysis video, it was high riding the whole time because, again, it's constant self-belief. And that you always come back to that with a really top pros. At the end of the day, there's a lot of people with very good quality, but it comes down to who believes in themselves more. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what it's about. All right, and we'll play. So that's their third goal. It ended 3-1, so the rest of this is just going to be commentary on my play. Ball comes over to me again. And then just playing back, trying to shift. Long ball, and then a good header forward, defensive header forward. 9 does a good job to win possession there. Ball comes over to me. Checking shoulder, no options. Give space, play it back to the center back. So that's totally fine. So this is a good little clearance there. And then one of the next plays, I'm following back on my right side. So, okay, so here we go. Get the ball. And then this is just, again, belief. Crap, goes straight out of bounds. Like that's just executed poorly, straight up. That as well, like again, I can turn, I have the confidence. This is a good ball, just not on the same page as my center forward. Ball comes over to me, and then take a look forward, play it into the 10, and then we're out, which is great. That's much better from a penetrating pass perspective. Little flick over to our 8, and he's able to get it out for a throw-in. Little 1v1 block, that's fine. Good stuff there from a 1v1 defending perspective. This is just getting physical with my man, and then body, get a foul. That's great. So that's great 1v1 defending. Here's a shot blocked, ball came over, and then I just recovered with that guy coming across, and then it goes off the bar. We were lucky not to concede a 4th goal. Long throw in. That was not a foul. Again, he comes over the back of him, and it wasn't a foul. That's crazy. Great work by our 6 coming over. And then, again, 1v1 defending, getting in his face, really making sure he can't turn, and then he has to play backwards. All right, last couple plays. Great job by our center back. Little flick on, and then it's just holding him up, making him go backwards, and he has to play, and then we have people around the ball, so that's totally fine. I don't know what that was, but okay. Little free kick forward. Not much to report there. Good defensive header there. And then we get out of pressure with our 8. Little ball back to me. Great clip in, chest from our center forward. And then we go from there. Retain possession. And again, here's a confidence thing. Just go straight out of bounds. Yeah, we'll talk about it at the end. This is the last play of the game. Ball comes straight into the number 8, who does a good job of turning, and then sees some pressure, turns, gets it back to me. This is no problem. And then ball gets forward, and don't win the header, unfortunately. Okay, and then that's it. And then I stop. Yeah, all right. Okay, so that's it. That is a really disappointing result, and for me, that's a game. The other game analysis that you guys have seen recently have all been games where I feel like I've been impactful. So one of the things that I've been working on with my psychologist is the dichotomy between maximizing impact and minimizing mistakes. So you want to maximize your impact on the field as opposed to, like, that's what you should be thinking about. That's what you should be mentally turning on, as opposed to minimizing mistakes. Oh my God, I don't want to make a mistake, so I'm just going to play really safe. No, maximize impact. You're going to make mistakes. It's inevitable. This game, I was 100%, not 100% of the time, but I would say 70% of the time, I was in minimizing mistakes mode for whatever reason. And maybe that was something I did in my pregame prep, and I've churned on this a little while, but I also want to make sure we move on from it because we've had games since then and we've performed very well, and I've performed very well. And my mental state has been really switched on, because for me, that's what I always come back to. Is my mental good? In this game, it wasn't good. And that's the unfortunate part, is it's really frustrating when I watch back a game where I'm like, wow, that was really disappointing. And then I watch it back and I was even more disappointed than I already was. And so that's a situation where I'm just like, God damn it. So I don't know, take what you will from this game, but the biggest thing that I take away from this is to be mentally on point from the start and to maximize impacts, because maximizing impact is the only way that we get to the top level and that we move up levels. So again, for me, it starts up here, and then the execution is just a byproduct of that mental state. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. I sure did not, because I did not enjoy watching this game back, but it needed to happen. And the analysis is always an important thing to do. So you guys will see another game analysis next week from this past weekend's game, which will be much better. Got our first win, so that was fantastic. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, if you did, go to the first link down in the description box below for phases 1 through 4 of the in-season workout program. Very, very vital for pro footballers. It helps with speed, it helps with agility, it helps with strength, and injury prevention, honestly, at the end of the day, is one of the most important things. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you all. As always, be awesome. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.